Okay, so it's time for Ask. Don't forget, if you've got questions you want to send them in to ask@gmbn.com, and you can also comment in the comments below because we'd like to react with you.
Yeah.
What you got, Mark? Let's kick it off.
First question for you, Doddy, is from Unknown Man. I'm sure he knows himself. It says, when I pull my front brake, I start moving my bike back and forth. I can feel that something in the front suspension is moving with it too. Is that good? And how do I fix it if it isn't good?
Okay, well, firstly, double check it's not your headset because that's normally the culprit.
That's what I was thinking.
But your next up is your bushings. So if your bushings and your fork are dry, that's normally it, because if there's lubrication in there, such a fine movement between them, the lube normally stops that. So it's likely they're dried up. So in which case you need to get them lubed.
Dry bushings.
I'm just going to throw you to a lower leg service. Although most suspension forks work really well in a whole variety of conditions, it's important to look after your fork. Today we're going to do the fork lower leg service. Now we're using a RockShox Pike here. It's a pretty common fork, a lot of people run this, but the principle is the same for all forks. It's only the oil variety and the volume that changes. RockShox recommend you do this service approximately every 50 hours of riding, and that's pretty much the same for most manufacturers.
Nice, that's probably what it was, to be fair. Right, Jack Hole says, should I take any tips from motocross to MTB? For sure. For sure.
Taking tips from motocross to MTB? Oh, definitely.
Yeah, skills, it all translates.
Well, do you know what position on the bike as well? You're seeing a lot of riders running their brake levers super high now, and that comes from motocross and trials, doesn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. And the fitness and the skills for riding motocross really do translate. So definitely come across from motocross to MTB with some confidence. Right, Jalan DeSantis says, I'm planning to build a full suspension mountain bike, including the frame. Does that mean from ground up? Maybe. What material would you guys recommend? Right, so Doddy, from the ground up, literally building a bike, what would you build with if you could start from scratch?
If I was going to start from scratch tomorrow, I would do a steel one, and then I would go straight to carbon. But that's a pretty wild way of doing it.
Yeah, steel though, steel's great.
Steel, if you're going to custom build a frame, that's the best way to do it, because you can actually fine tune stuff on the go and then work it up towards aluminium.
And I think steel's really interesting material as well, because it's got so much. It's so pliable, you've really got to think about the movement that you're going to get in the frame and using that as a benefit. So
definitely.
Interesting material.
And a lot of people argue that steel is real as well.
Yeah, that's true, that's true. Zachal, is there an easy way of going downstairs without going over the bars?
Well, yeah.
I know.
Keep your weight back, don't use the front brake.
Lean
relax.
back. It's those two things.
Yeah.
You've hit the nail on the head twice there, Doddy. It's lean back and don't touch that front brake if you can. But I tell you what, to help you out, why don't you check out this 5-step challenge I did with Scotty Lockland, where I put him through his paces on a nice little stair set, and you might learn some skills there. Okay, Scott is warming up in the background and we are ready to try the first step. Now, I think he's got this covered, but it's an important place to start if you haven't ridden steps before, because this is where you're going to gain that all-important confidence. The first step is the novice level, rolling down. Simple use of this mega obstacle gives you confidence when riding extremely rough terrain. Things to remember here, rolling over the top at controlled, slow pace. Okay, I'm keeping the pace going here. Keezy says, when do you first invest a serious amount of money into a mountain bike? That's a good question, because when do you know when to spend big bucks? Well,
I don't really think it's about spending the money. I think it's about when you develop your skills to a certain level that you find your kit is starting to hold you back.
That's a really good point.
If your bike suddenly starts breaking and you're going through stuff, then you need to consider better quality components and better bike stuff. It's about the riding first.
Yeah, let your riding do the talking. Good advice. Bram Camp says, do or don't use power meters for training or XC. So I don't know if that's a question of, do XC riders use power meters, or if he should use XC power meters.
Well, the XC guys all use them, I'm sure, for training.
They do.
And if you're very serious about your riding, definitely it's going to be able to monitor your progress.
You get an awful lot of information from it. It really does make a difference to how you think about your riding and the power that you've got.
But don't feel like you have to buy them, because it's not going to improve your riding. You can still just get out there and work hard. Yeah, that's true. That's true. Andrea Marconi says, besides his enduro and all mountain riding, he'd like to start a bit of dirt street trials riding. What sort of bike would we recommend to do that? Well, you know what? I would say look into like a street trials bike, one of those inspired that you see Danny McCaskill riding. Now, take a look at Sam Pilgrim's YouTube page. He is one of the best dirt jump riders on the planet. He actually won the FMB Tour a few years back, was world #1.
He's bought a trials bike and he's absolutely loving it. He's putting videos out of him riding trials. And I tell you what, he's blooming good. So yeah, maybe have a look at one of those because you can do so much on them. They're really, really great. XUbu says, do gas station compressors, this one's tricky and dangerous. Do gas station compressors have enough blow up to seat a tyre that's tubeless?
Yeah, I've done it before. Oof, but it's easy to mess it up. So
yeah.
And it'd be messy as well if you do that. So yeah. make sure you get it right if you're going to do it.
Yeah, great chance for us to throw to the top 3 ways to seat a tubeless tyre, and this might give you some great tips.
Perfect.
Setting up tubeless can take a bit of work and can be frustrating. The number one thing you need is patience. But with these 3 tips, you can be guaranteed tubeless success. One of the biggest problems with fitting tubeless tyres is trying to get the tyre seated. So you need to pump really hard and fast, try and get that tyre to pop onto the rim and then give you that seal.
Okay, Beth Carroll says, this one's for Blake actually, but he's not here, he's riding at the moment. Hey Blake, what does goofy foot mean? Now, Blake's always going on about goofy foot, and he actually confuses the issue because goofy foot means that you're riding opposite foot forward to what most people do. It's a snowboarding term. But Blake is kind of a weird rider because he rides switch foot sometimes, which he calls goofy foot because he's riding the wrong foot to him. So you want to watch out what Blake's saying.
And what that means is, if you've got your right foot forward, you should table to the right, but he tables to the left.
Yeah.
Like that.
He also has to swap his pedal for when he's coming into a jump to do a 360. He's kind of weird. Yeah. So watch what Blake says on that one.
But we love him for it.
Yeah, we do. It makes him special. This one's for you, Doddy. Narman Negi says, will my rear shock explode if I add more air than recommended?
Well, it's got
It's got a
maximum recommendation on it for a reason, so you don't really want to go above it.
No, because basically it could go bang. Yeah. Have you ever had a shot go bang?
I haven't, but I have heard of a few going bang.
Oh God, I bet it's horrible. Charlie CC MTB says, if a bunny hop equals a nollie on a skateboard, what's the MTB equivalent of the nollie? So ollieing front wheel instead of back.
Do you know what it's called?
Go on.
It's called a nollie.
It's the same.
It is, it's the same thing.
It's the same. And it's great to do off curbs. So if you're going alongside a curb and go back wheel to front wheel off, nollie off it. It's cool as. Sanek says, you're in training on bunny hop landing first to front wheel and then rear, so going whoop, bump like that. Is it not right to land both wheels? Go whoop, bonk. Well, I think depends where you're bunny hopping really. I mean, if you're bunny hopping into a bit of trail with some downslope, yeah, both wheels would be smoother.
But ultimately, you're going to get more height by landing on your front wheel.
But bunny hops aren't all about height. I mean, yeah, there's world records for it. I used to jump over a stick for a living, but you know what? That's pretty rare. Bunny hops are for use on a trail, making them more flow and getting more energy out of the ground. So there's no right or wrong way, really. Don't get too obsessed with it. I think if it's working on the trail, then you're bunny hopping right.
Yeah, for sure.
And that's the way to think about it. Right, Myron Lee says, is it true that if you reverse your rear tyre, you get more grip?
Yeah, kind of, but you also increase the drag as well. Tyres are designed to sort of give grip in one way and obviously braking grip. So you can mess that around and do that. But I know a few people who do on the front wheel actually to do exactly that.
Oh, right, because I was thinking on a climb it would work, because I can imagine the back wheel would dig in more. But
then you lose braking traction on a descent.
Yeah, that's true.
So it does depend on the tyre as well.
Yeah.
Some tyres don't make too much difference. Other tyres, something like I can't remember a good example off the top of my head. Something like a Maxxis high roller. They've got kind of ramps. Ramp tread, you'll notice it quite a lot more in that. Yeah, that's
the shape I was thinking in my mind. And actually, while we're talking about tyres, let's take a look at this really cool vid. I love this vid. It's the Continental Factory Tour, and it shows you how these tyres are made. We think about it very rarely, but getting a tyre made is not easy.
It's got that massive dude in it as well, hasn't it?
Yeah, it has. Yeah, it's a cool vid.
So today is a really exciting day. I'm here in Korbach in Germany at the Continental headquarters to take a look to see how a tyre is made. So today we're going to take a look at building a tyre from start to finish. It's something that I've got no idea what goes into, so it's going to be really interesting. Korbach is the centre of technology for Continental. It's a huge company. They make their winter car tyres here, and they share a lot of that technology with their mountain bike tyres. But before we build a tyre, you need to design one, so let's take a look.
Right, quick fire round. 2Pack says, get Maya Wojcicka to talk about her bike. Yes, we should.
Great.
Ozef Paz says, is it fine to ride 26-inch XC bike in flowy trails?
Yeah, of course it is.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Vlad Abu says, when will you do a tutorial on how to install tokens on your rear shock?
We'll do it very soon.
Yeah, very soon. Good idea. Raya Thoret says, can you guys make a bike destroy video from Blake even on how to backflip? No.
Not sure that's a good idea, is it?
No, so it's destroying bikes. That's not a good idea. Yun Yan Wong says, do 1,000 bales, present a staff edition with not just Neil in it. We could probably do that.
I could do a few
You
of those.
definitely could. And lastly, we've got this one from Jamie Richards. He says, could you please do a video comparing 26-inch dirt jumper to 26-inch BMX cruiser, such as the SE Bikes OM Flyer? Yeah,
could be an interesting crossover.
Could. That would be. That would. Yeah, bike geometry could be good. Great quickfire.
Blake would like that.
Yeah, he would. Great quickfire this weekend. Right. Okay. Let's round up. Ask, because we're coming to the end of our trail. So thanks for watching this week. Make sure you send us your questions in the comments section down below, or to ask@gmbn.com, and we'll get straight into it. You can always use the hashtag as well. Now, Doddy, have you got a great video we could throw to keep these guys interested in GMBN?
Yeah, how about 5 essential skills to master in a bike park?
Absolutely. And tell you what, I'm really into the pro bikes at the moment, so I'm going to send you to a pro bikes playlist right here. Make sure you hit the logo to subscribe, because you'll get a brand new video every day of the week. And what else was it, Doddy? What else was it?
Oh yes, give us a thumbs up if you like the video.
Go on, do loads of them. Hit it more than once.